Greetings to all, my name is Junangel Aleman Rios. I am Professor Patricia Burrow's student, and I am working on a research project titled, Does Hurricane-Induced Forest Devastation Affect Nocturnal Home Range and Philopatry of Eleutherodactylus coqui? Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico on September of 2017 and affected El Yunque's vegetation and canopy. It is hypothesized that this change and loss of canopy could have affected the behavior of many species that get to call El Yunque their home. An Eleutherodactylus coqui, known commonly as simply a coqui, is a species that shows parental care by the male for up to 21 days. However, this fact has already been studied thoroughly. In this research project, we are interested in home range, philopatry, and movement. Home range is the maximum amount of distance an animal would travel out of its retreat site. It is like an imaginary circle where the animal will remain inside. Philopatry is the tendency of an animal to always return to the same place. Past studies have researched this coqui's movement, which is an average of 3 to 4.5 meters any given night. However, their home range is about 7 meters, with some being found as far away as 15 meters. And so the main question for this research project is if there is, in fact, a difference in behavior, meaning movement, field fidelity, home range, and philopatry, when comparing these factors to past studies. Another main goal of this research project is to determine if the use of permanent magnetic transponders was a viable and effective method for monitoring a small frog species such as the coqui. And so, in order to establish a formal comparison, the coqui's linear movement must be measured. With this information, the philopatry and home range can then be visualized, analyzed, and then compared. The Eleutherodactylus coqui is a direct development frog. This means that when they are born, they already resemble their adult form. The male has a distinct mating call, which I'm pretty sure everyone here has already heard before. The study site is located in Palo Colorado in El Yunque. It is 661 meters above sea level. Its average nocturnal temperature is 21 degrees Celsius, and it receives anywhere from 68 to 219 millimeters of rain a month. In the study area, there are two 50-meter linear transects, each separated by 100 meters. The transects have 5-meter increments. Just around sunset, 2 to 3 people visit each transect and start to capture every coqui that is visible and reachable. For every coqui caught, a high visibility flagging tape is placed on the exact location where it was captured. Its substrate, height, and location in the transect is written down on a small piece of weatherproof paper. There is also a field ID code that is assigned and written down on the flagging tape and weatherproof paper. Here are some brief examples of what to look out for when participating on a field survey. The weatherproof paper is deposited inside the plastic bag where the coqui was placed. The frogs are then transported to the laboratory located in the University of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras campus. Once in the lab, the coquis are measured in millimeters using a high-precision caliper. They are also scanned with a Trovan reader in order to determine if the frog is a recapture or if it is the first time capturing it. A transponder is a small chip, and I included a quarter so you can get a sense of the scale. The transponder has a unique code that allows to differentiate each of the frogs and gives us the ability to compare its information to past captures. To transpond a coqui frog using some fine-tipped tweezers, its epidermis is lifted up and a small incision is made using surgical scissors. And as you can see, this causes minimal to no distress to the coqui. Then the transponder is inserted and pushed to its mid-dorsal area to avoid it sliding out. The syringe I am using is used as a transponder holder. The needle is too thick to be used in a coqui. The coquis are taken back to El Yunque the next day. Home ranges were calculated in diameters. In order to estimate home range, distance between the two farthest points a particular frog was captured was calculated and then added 6 extra meters. Here we see an example of a plot of frogs that were captured at least 3 times. The red number is the captured event, and the block around is the estimated home range, where blue are males and purple are females. This table has a summary of all recapture and capture events throughout this project. Some of the frogs were captured up to 7 times total. A total of 217 frogs were successfully tagged with a transponder. Out of those 217 frogs, 54 were recaptured, giving us an estimated recapture rate of 24.88%. Out of those 54 recaptured frogs, 107 recapture events occurred. These results demonstrate that pit transponders are a viable and effective way to study a small amphibian species in a mark recapture study, more so than other traditional methods such as VIE and radiotelemetry. Using RStudio to calculate descriptive statistics, males demonstrated an average home range of 8.64 meters in diameter, while females had a home range of 7.94 meters in diameter. When analyzing the entire population, a mean of 8.41 was obtained. Home range results are indicative that the frog's behavioral movement remains the same as a population that has not been affected by a devastating hurricane. Studies show that a forest may take more than 5 years to recover from a severe storm. The coquille's unchanged home range may suggest that even if the forest has not recovered, enough of its functional aspects have for the coquille to show normal behavior. During this research project, we've demonstrated the valuable use of pit transponders for small amphibians such as coquilles, as well as provided valuable information that will help inform conservation and management decisions in the future. I would like to thank the University of Puerto Rico, as well as my mentor Patricia Burrows and the graduate students of the lab, as well as my friends and field partners for their help on the surveys and unconditional support on this research project. Any questions?